What's up everybody, Mannun here on another episode of Witch in the Working, where we are going to be doing a Cooking with Mannun episode, this time for the wonderful Sabbath of Imbolg. This is super cool for me up here at this time because there's snow everywhere. So I love that. Being from Florida, as most of you know, I don't really have a lot of experience with snow, so I'm definitely getting my fill this year, I'll tell you what. I mean, we've gotten a couple of snowstorms already, so it's been really cool. I'm really experiencing Imbolg the way it should be, the way our ancestors did for the most part. I am going to be cooking a couple of dishes this episode, and we're gonna be doing some Swedish waffles in honor of Imbolg, and also some honey cake in honor of Imbolg. Let's go ahead and get started with we're gonna do the waffles first. Now, I'm warning you, I don't have a waffle iron, so I'm gonna just kind of make them in like this pan. Like, I guess they're gonna be more like Swedish pancakes, maybe? I don't know. I don't have an iron, so just, what am I gonna, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and let's get started with this right off the bat. Oh, you know what? First, let's do this. Roll the intro. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, so let's get kicking right into this. This is gonna be fun. Okay, so first I'm gonna read to you a little bit out of the Sabbaths book that I get all these recipes from. Again, I show it every time, so I'll show it again. The Sabbaths by Dane McCoy. I'm going to give you a little splurge about this. The traditional foods of Imbolg come to us from the Celts, the French, and the Swedes. Many of them are round in shape or contain the traditional foods of the spring Sabbath, such as honey and milk. No doubt this was another form of sympathetic magic to wish back warmer weather. Pancakes or waffles, usually round and made with rich cream, are still a Swedish tradition for Imbolg, especially on farms and in the Lapland, where sheep, goats, and deer, the latter two sacred to their gods, form the basis of the economy. The honey cake is a French Imbolg dessert with Middle East origins. Both recipes follow. And it goes into the recipes. So let's get started. So we've got 1 teaspoon of granulated sugar. So let's do this. I've actually got my measuring spoons finally. So we're gonna pull out a teaspoon. We're gonna put this in here. Nice level. Boom. All right, 1 cup of evaporated milk or cream. We've got some cream here. Well, this is evaporated milk. It says to shake well. So let's do that. Shake it nice and well. We're gonna open her up. So, evaporated milk or, ooh, that kind of put the big one. Ugh, smells crazy. Okay, so we're gonna put 1 cup of this. This is more than a cup, so let's bust out our measuring cup here. We're gonna fill this over this to 1 cup. Try to keep everything in the middle here. Okay, so we've got 1 cup of evaporated milk or cream, sugar, 3 eggs. One, 2, Jesus. 3 eggs, 1/4 cup of melted butter. So I've got some melted butter here now for, oh, and this is like a whole cup. So we're gonna do 1/4 cup. So let's do this. Quarter of a cup of melted butter. Okay, 1.5 cups of flour. Back to this puppy. I know I'm supposed to sift this and everything, but I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. I'm just going to do 1.5 cups of flour and make the best of it. Okay, this is the 1 cup. This is the 1/2 cup. I probably should sift it, but I'm just not gonna because I'm too lazy. All right, so that's that. 1.5 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder. We've got baking powder right here. We use teaspoon. And it's right here. Okay, 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So this is 1/4. Look, I'm actually measuring everything this time, guys. This is new for me. Usually I just kind of wing it. So boink. And now we are going to mix this together. Yay! All right, let's see what we get. So let's talk a little bit about Imbolg when I'm stirring this up. So Imbolg takes place around February 2nd. So it's just like a week or two away. I guess about a week away. It is February 1st for some people. Some people do it February 2nd. It just depends. I never really figured it out why some people do it on the 2nd and why some people do it on the 1st. I tend to do it on the 2nd myself. Same with Lammas. I do August 2nd. But it's a time where it's a Sabbath where we're really urging back the sun. It's midwinter, literally. It's the middle of winter on that day. So it's really a time for urging back the sun. It's a time when our ancestors really like put together like different solar symbols and whatnot, all in acts of sympathetic magic to urge back the sun. Because again, early man, you know, it was important for them to not be cold anymore and die as it is today. So they really did their best to try to do what they could to bring everything back, you know, to bring the sun back in the spring and the summer so they can plant crops and be warm and, you know, live basically. If it was winter all the time, bad news bears. Not completely unsurvivable, but you know, that would suck. That being said, again, the wintertime is a time when a lot of people died. Some people died in crops and of course not crops, but animals and whatnot. I didn't mean to say crops. I meant to say, what do you call it? Stock. Like livestock would pass away. So during Samhain, they would actually sacrifice the weaker ones or kill off the weaker ones for meat for the winter. But it's a great holiday. It's so a lot of times for Sabbath and whatnot, we'll do little things that have to do with sympathetic magic to bring back the sun, like make little sun wheels or little sun crosses that will, you know, that will urge for bringing everything back to the warmth, which, you know, when I was living in Florida, I never really got it. But now that I'm living here up north, I totally get it. Like I already caught myself 2 or 3 times wishing that it was springtime again. Cause you know, I mean, I love the snow, don't get me wrong, but there comes a time when it just gets annoying. So fun fact, I actually ate it for the first time last week. I was driving to work and I was on the highway and it just got done having a snowstorm and I ran right off the road, slid right off the road because of ice and into a snowbank and basically didn't hurt myself or hurt my truck. Had to call a tow truck to come pull me out even though I had 4-wheel drive, it wasn't helping any. So I had to have them come pull me out, and you know, it is what it is. $160 later, I was back on the road in an hour and on my way to work. But now I know better, and I know to be much more careful when driving on icy roads. So let's go ahead and turn on this burner. Get this going. So I'm gonna spray this pan down with some Pam, or with some cooking spray. Man, this is empty now. Use that all up. So that being said, let's go ahead and make these things. So I really feel like, again, I'm sorry I couldn't make them as actual waffles. I don't have a waffle iron. So I hope these things turn out okay. It's supposed to make 4 pancakes. So let's knock this down here, put this in the sink real quick, and let's go ahead and get a little scooper and make this happen. All right, let's make one here, very quick. It's almost, I have a feeling it's very much the same consistency of as a pancake, but I'll be honest with you, I've never made pancakes before either, so this is a first. So if I am just making pancake, I guess I'm knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm making pancakes, but out of waffle batter. If they're even the same thing, I don't even know, but we'll see. This is what it looks like in the pan. Let's see what we get. See how this turns out. So another story I have with Imbolg, speaking of fire festivals. So right before, well, back when I was in Florida, I had a coven that we did an Imbolg, and we invited a whole bunch of other covens. There was about 30 people at my house for this Sabbath, for this Imbolg Sabbath. And I was nervous, but, you know, not really too much. It was like, you know, I've done it before, so it wasn't like a big deal. I've hosted Sabbaths and stuff for tons of people before. So, but anyhow, I had my hair down. This is why one of the reasons I wear my hair up when I'm doing these cooking shows is because I don't want to catch on fire. But I had my hair down, which kind of just blew the punch of the whole story. But I leaned over the altar to do something, and everybody, we're in circle, rocking and rolling it, doing our thing. I leaned over the altar to do something. My hair fell off my shoulder into the flame, caught my hair on fire, burned half my hair up. So yeah, it sucked, but man, was I celebrating the fire festival of Imbolg then. Let's see what we get here. Oh man, I'm gonna try this on camera. So this thing's pretty loose. It worked. Oh shit, I got it. Oh man, this is what it looks like here. Show you over there if I can't see it, but I should have a camera up above me that should be getting all this, but just in case. All right, we're gonna make a couple of these. Let's pull out a plate. Then I can put these on. All right, cool. So that being said, yeah, so I burned up my hair, and you know, it is what it is. It grew back, but yep, that happened. Many of you have probably seen, if you've been online looking up Imbolg or anything, there's a couple of different ways to spell it. You have Imbolg with a G, Imbolg with a C, and some even have Oimelc, which is O-I-M-E-L-C. Most of it means use milk, and it's because this is a time when sheep and ewes, whatever, would lactate, and they would, so it was, they say anyhow that that's where it came from, that the name came from. I don't know if that's actually something that is for sure, but that's what they say. And the goddess that is usually worshipped during this time is Brigid, for a lot of Celtic traditions out there, which a lot of Wicca is Celtic, not all of it, but a lot of it is. Let's put another one, let's make another one on here. All right, and another thing we would do when I would do Sabbats back in Florida, which I'll end up doing again up here. I'm gonna get another coven going up here. I just want to get a house first, which should be, as you all know, many of you know, towards the end of this year, I'm hoping at buying a house. Hoping. So I'll probably start another coven in a few months. But we love doing, for Imbolg, we make what's called a breed's doll or Bridget's doll. And it's basically a corn dolly, you know, and it's made out of sheaths, and it's something that we'll put together, and I'll get all the decorations and everything. We have Bridget's bed, we call it, which is just a basket that holds the dolly. And the girls in the coven will get together and dress up Bridget in her wedding gown, basically, and put little flowers. I went and bought all these. I went and got all these little flowers and stuff that, you know, people sometimes would go out and get wild ones and put them in there. And you basically dress up Bridget in her wedding gown, and you decorate her with flowers and everything, and you put her in her Bridget's bed. And what she's doing in that bed is she's waiting for the Sun Lord to come back to her, so that the spring can return and the summer can return. So it's a pretty cool little story. I'm just gonna go for 2 of them. Let's see what we got here again. Let's do it. We're gonna go for 2. Oh, shit. Oh, almost blew it. All right. So these things are just like pancakes. I mean, I get it. You know, it's like, see, it's like totally like pancakes. But I don't have a choice. All right. So we have created the Swedish waffles. So let's go, which to me, I mean, I don't know what goes into a pancake, but to me, they're very pancake-like. But I'm gonna put these to the side because I'm not gonna try this till the end of the show, just like always. And so we'll move on to the honey cake, which is a little bit more involved. So let's see. Okay, so I just got done washing up some dishes, and I'm clean as I go. And we're gonna try the honey cake here. So to starters, this is gonna take 2.5 cups of flour. Okay. I think I might have 2.5 cups here. I guess we'll see. Again, I'm not gonna sift it because I just don't care. Sorry. So 2.5 cups. So that's 2. And you know what? I guess I can do let's do, I could have measured half, but I'm just gonna eye it. Half, that's about half. So 2.5 cups of flour. Let's see in there. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. This time baking soda. So we've got some baking soda here, and we're doing a 1/2 teaspoon. 1/2 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon right here. So let's put 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, nice and level. Boop. In there, and we've got 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. We're using both this time. Now this is some serious baking here. When I'm using baking soda and baking powder, forget it, man. This is pro status here. Don't be jealous out there. This is all made by a professional baker. Do not try this at home. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Okay. So a heaping teaspoon of allspice. So I have got some allspice here. So it's a heaping teaspoon. Woo. All right. Heaping teaspoon. Okay, good. I thought it was a tablespoon for a second. Whew. Okay, we've got a 3/4 of a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. 3/4 of a teaspoon. Do I have 3/4? Half? 1? Oh, okay, so we're gonna do a 1/4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. Have you guys seen that challenge that they do on YouTube? They did a while ago, or one of the platforms, where people would take like a tablespoon of ground cinnamon and they'd shove it in their mouth, and then they would like just freak out, like they couldn't breathe, and they couldn't breathe in because it's so fine. I guess it went down and they couldn't do anything, and they'd just be like, and they'd have to ultimately try to hack it, you know, try to deal with it, but usually people ran over and started like washing out their mouth with water and whatnot. But never tried it, don't think I'm gonna. Should I go for it? Should I try it on camera? Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Okay, 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. So we bring forth the nutmeg. So I don't even have an 1/8 measurement. So we're just gonna do 1/2 of a 1/4 of a teaspoon. Boop. Which is about like that. Nutmeg must be pretty strong for them to only want to put so little of it. Okay, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. Okay, we've got some ground ginger here. A lot of spices in this one, huh? What is it, 1 teaspoon? So we're gonna pull out the teaspoon here. Get a nice level thing of it. Do-do-doom. All right, teaspoon of nutmeg. Or no, sorry, of ground ginger. A teaspoon of ground ginger. All right, 4 eggs, people. 4 eggs. Uno. Dos. 3. Ooh, shell and all. Oh man. Crap. There goes half my spices. Oh well. And 1 more. Okay, 4 eggs. This is a lengthy one here. Oh, I was supposed to beat them first. God dang it. I did that last video too. Oh well. 1/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. So wash. Let's bust open the sugar here. Oh, 1 1/4 a cup. So actually it's, whoops, it's gonna be 1 1/4. There might be a little bit of extra sugar in there, but that's okay. Okay, so this says to use a 1/2. It says use 1/2. It literally says use 1/2 safflower oil. I'm gonna think that means 1/2 of a cup. And I don't have safflower oil. I'm gonna have to use vegetable oil. I hope it doesn't make that much of a difference. People are probably screaming right now, no, don't do it. But I don't have a choice. And to me, I mean, look, I understand like using olive oil would probably be pretty crazy, but I'm gonna use some vegetable oil and it'll have to be what it's gonna have to be. So, that being said, in goes the vegetable oil. It's supposed to be safflower oil. Okay, here's the good part. A cup of raw honey. Cup of honey. Wait, so honey hasn't even been opened yet. So let's see if we can get it open. Come on. All right, we got it. We got it open. Okay, so a cup of raw honey. Here we go. Oh boy. All right. A cup of raw honey. In she goes. I love this like measuring cup because you can do this. Where you like turn it upside down. Okay. Now, that's it. That's all the ingredients. It talks about how to make icing too, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to make the icing. So we're going to put this, we're going to grab this, and we're going to start the mixing. So let's start the mixing. Here we go. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's get these eggs crushed up and nice and... Oh, we're going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. And get that started. It looks really good. Anyway, let's put this back on the honey. So, okay, so let's talk a little bit more about Imbolg, since, you know, again, these are meant to be educational videos, so I'm having fun with everybody. So let's see, what else do I know about Imbolg? Well, another neat thing we used to do for the Sabbats that I would have, we would do something called the Crown of Lights. And it was, again, it was an act of sympathetic magic, but ritually, that would be urging back the sun. So one of the things that you would do is we would put together a crown that you would put on your head. And it was, you had a maiden and a mother and a crone that we would have lined up at the Sabbat. And we would have the maiden step forward because this Sabbat is about the maiden, again, Bridget, waiting for her husband to come back. And she would wear this crown of lights into the circle and walk into the circle, and symbolism of her coming into the world and calling forth the Sun Lord. And on top of the crown, which usually traditionally is lit candles, but especially after I caught my hair on fire that one time, we decided that got a little bit dangerous. So we made up a crown using some LED lights that you can get from any craft store, and they run off a little battery pack, and you just attach it all together. And next thing you know, you've got a modified crown of lights that's not using real fire, especially if you are using it with a girl who has long hair. It just gets too dangerous. So we just did it with some LEDs instead. That being said, if you decide it's just you don't want to use a crown of lights, you can also use what's called a circle of lights. Same exact effect, same exact scenario, same exact situation, but instead of the maiden walking into the circle with a crown of lights on top of her head, she's simply carrying this crown of lights instead. And then you can go ahead and use candles and stuff because that's safer. You know, she'll carry it kind of like this, you know, like she was carrying, say this was the crown. And, you know, same aspect. So it's, but that's just another idea of how to do it, but a lot safer. You got the pan, 9x13. So we're gonna, it says to grease this up. So let's do that real quick. I'm just gonna, you guys probably hate this stuff, but I love it. I'm just gonna grease it up with some cooking spray. All right, so we're gonna do that. Yeah, so another holiday that takes place during Imbolg, which many of us know about, is Groundhog's Day. This is something that happens on February 2nd. And a lot of people are familiar with that who aren't even pagan, you know. And that's a time when they believe that if the groundhog comes out and sees its shadow, then it's another 6 weeks of winter. But if the groundhog comes out, Puxatawny Phil comes out and doesn't see a shadow, then it's, you know, I guess winter is over. So never was really exactly sure how that whole thing worked, but I don't know if it's like a ruse or any of the specifics behind it, if it's like a thing where it's like, oh, it's just a bunch of bullshit, no idea. But I know that a lot of people follow it, and it happens during Imbolg. So, and of course, everybody knows about Valentine's Day during February as the lovers' holiday. Fun fact that Valentine's Day comes from a Roman festival called Lupercalia, which actually was in symbolism of wolves that mate for life. And where did the heart come into play? It's been known through many centuries, through many cultures. It's been thought that the heart is associated with love and just always has been. So hence hearts come into play with, you know, the design of Valentine's Day. Other than that, our present day Valentine's Day, if I'm not mistaken, the way it's celebrated with all the chocolates and candies and everything, if I'm not mistaken, Valentine's Day was actually, in the way we have it today, was actually designed by Hershey's. I don't know if this is true or not. This is something I heard. There's our oven, yay! Is that Valentine's Day is completely a holiday that was put together by Hershey's to sell more chocolate. So, or Nestle or somebody, I forget who. Maybe, I think it was Hershey's, but. So we're gonna put this in the oven and it's gonna go in for 45 minutes. So let's move this out of the way. Put this in. Here we go. Into the oven. And we're gonna set a timer for 45 minutes and start. All right, cool. So there's only one more thing I'd like to actually mention about Imbolg before we basically cut and then come back for a taste test. And that is that there is a Christianized form of Imbolg too that many of you know about. That is, it's not that it's Christianized, it's just the name is Christianized. It's where it came from. And it's just and sometimes for some reason, some people still use it today, even though, you know, pagans use it today. And that's called Candlemas. So sometimes Imbolg as well is called Candlemas. And it's all the same principles, pagan-wise. Candlemas, as far as Christian-wise, I don't know much about it because I'm not Christian and I don't care to be. So that being said, I don't know a lot about Candlemas itself, but sometimes pagans will use Imbolg in place of Candlemas. Candlemas in place of the word Imbolg when they're describing their pagan celebration. But anyway, we're 44 minutes to go. We'll wait for this to cook and then we'll come back and taste everything and check it out. See you in a few. This is what we came up with. We have the waffles, the Swedish waffles, and we have the honey cake, which turned out a little overdone, I think. Not really. It actually doesn't seem like it might not be. Let's see. We'll cut this. All right, well, let's see. So we'll give this a shot. So let's do a waffle first, which I'm just gonna tear a piece off. And it's very good. It tastes like a waffle would. So, yep, put butter, some maple syrup, however you like. So I would make this again for breakfast. It's quick and easy too. Tastes like a pancake. Okay, let's try a piece of this honey cake. I'm gonna put this here. Very soft. I just pulled this out of the oven like literally like 3 minutes ago, so it's still really hot. So it's probably gonna add to the flavor, but let's see. I mean, it's good. It would taste great with like some butter on it. You can totally taste the spices. I'm not sure which one it is. It's either like the allspice, maybe it's the nutmeg. I think it's the nutmeg. That's probably why they use such a little bit of it. But you can totally taste that. It's very sweet. No, it's not super sweet. It's sweet enough, but it's you can totally like taste the honey in there and whatnot. It's not bad. It's actually really good. I could see eating this as like with some coffee or something, like a breakfast thing. And it's really cool. It's really good. So yeah, not bad. So anyway, thank you guys for doing this cooking with Mannun with me. It was only 2 recipes today. We didn't have a third one, but you know what? I think that's okay. And I think we embraced the Sabbath of Imbolg for this cooking with Mannun and talked a little bit about it, had a good time together. So listen, can't wait for you guys for the next video. I think the next video is going to be about the Kabbalah, where we have a guest talking about it with us, very good friend of mine. And we will see you at the next episode. Thank you guys so much for doing this with me and being here. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Love you guys and gals. Catch you later.